Two people both turned 55 with exactly $1 million in retirement savings. They've been told the same thing their entire careers: hit $1 million and you're set. 20 years later, one is on a cruise ship complaining about the buffet. The other is back at work because the map caved in around age 78. Same number, wildly different outcomes. Because the truth nobody tells you is that $1 million is not a retirement number, it's a marketing number. The real number depends on three things almost nobody calculates correctly, and it's almost certainly different from what you've been quietly saving toward. By the end of this video, you'll know your exact number and the savings rate that actually gets you there. But first, the rule everyone quotes, where it actually comes from, and what it silently leaves out. The "you need $1 million" advice has a real origin, and it's older than most of the people repeating it. It traces back to research from the 1990s when a financial planner ran the numbers on how much a retiree could withdraw each year without running out of money. The conclusion became famous as the 4% rule. If you withdraw 4% of your nest egg in year 1 and adjust for inflation each year after, your money should last about 30 years. Run the math backward, and $1 million gets you $40,000 a year of inflation-adjusted income before taxes for 30 years. That's where the number comes from. The problem is that $40,000 a year was a reasonable retirement budget in 1994. It isn't anymore. And the rule itself assumes things that aren't universally true now. The honest way to think about your retirement number is this: take whatever you actually plan to spend in a year of retirement and multiply it by 25, not by 50,000, not by 100,000, by your real number. Plan to spend 60,000 a year? Your number is $1.5 million. Plan to spend 90,000? $2.25 million? Plan to spend 40,000 because you'll be debt-free and your house is paid off? You need $1 million, and the famous advice was right for you. Your retirement number isn't a fixed dollar amount. It's a multiple of your lifestyle, which means the number changes based on choices you make today about how much house, how much car, and how much travel you want at 65. Most people quietly plan for someone else's retirement and then wonder why theirs doesn't fit. Two things have changed since the 4% rule was written that almost nobody factors in. First, inflation has eaten the purchasing power of a dollar by about 40% since the rule was published. So the famous $40,000 a year of comfortable retirement income? In today's dollars, you'd need around $70,000 to live the same life. Second, healthcare costs in retirement have detached from general inflation. A 65-year-old couple retiring today is projected to spend over $300,000 on out-of-pocket healthcare across the rest of their lives, not including long-term care. Your retirement number has to absorb both of these realities, or your money runs out a decade before you do. The 4% rule isn't broken, it just stopped being enough on its own. Here's where it gets useful. To hit a healthy retirement number by 65, here is roughly what you should have saved by each major birthday expressed as a multiple of your current salary. By 30, 1 times your salary. By 40, 3 times. By 50, 6 times. By 60, 8 times. By 67, 10 times or more. So if you earn $80,000 a year at 40, you should have around $240,000 saved. Behind? Welcome to the club. Most people are. The point isn't to feel bad. The point is to know where you actually are so you can fix it. The earlier you catch the gap, the cheaper it is to close, because compounding does most of the work for you when you give it enough time. Let's go back to our two people. Same $1 million at 55. The first plans to spend $40,000 a year in retirement, owns her house outright, has good health insurance through a working spouse, and waits until 67 to start withdrawing. Her $1 million, withdrawn at the classic 4% rate, lasts comfortably into her 90s. She wins. The second plans to spend $80,000 a year because his lifestyle never came down, still has a mortgage, and retires at 55, meaning his money has to last 40+ years instead of 30. He pays for healthcare out of pocket until Medicare kicks in at 65. His $1 million is mathematically already gone before it starts. The number wasn't wrong. The lifestyle was. The retirement you're saving for is determined by the life you build today. Here's a powerful concept almost nobody learns: the coast number. It's the amount you need invested today, untouched, growing at a normal rate, that will become your full retirement number by 65. Hit your coast number, and you can technically stop contributing for the rest of your career, do literally nothing, and still retire on plan. Compounding takes over. For a 40-year-old aiming for $1.5 million at retirement, the coast number is roughly $400,000. Hit 400K by 40, and time does the rest. That's a much smaller, much more reachable target than the million, and it reframes the entire game. You're not saving for retirement. You're trying to hit a coast number as fast as possible, then letting the market grind for the next 25 years on your behalf. Your retirement number is moved by exactly 3 things, and you control all 3. Lever 1. How much you save each year. Doubling your savings rate roughly cuts your timeline in half. This is the loudest lever. Lever 2. How much you spend in retirement. Cutting your annual retirement spending by $10,000 cuts your required nest egg by $250,000. This is the quietest lever and the most powerful. Lever 3. How long you let it compound. Starting at 25 versus 35 isn't twice as much money. At typical returns, it's nearly 3 times. Time, frankly, beats everything else. Most people pull only the loudest lever. The richest pullers pull all 3 at once. Here's a decision that quietly costs or earns you over $100,000 in lifetime retirement income, and almost everyone gets it wrong. You can claim Social Security as early as 62 at your full retirement age of 67, or as late as 70. The catch is that your monthly check grows by about 8% per year you delay, guaranteed for the rest of your life. Claim at 62 and you get about 70% of your full benefit forever. Delay until 70 and you get about 124% forever. For someone with average longevity and decent health, delaying past full retirement age is one of the highest guaranteed returns available in personal finance. The exception is poor health or no other retirement income sources. In those cases, claiming earlier makes sense. Most middle-class retirees claim too early because the money feels available, and they quietly lose a 6-figure cumulative benefit over a normal lifespan. The delay isn't free. You need other income to bridge those years, but that's what your portfolio is for. Run this calculation specifically for your situation. It moves your retirement number more than most people realize. Here's a risk almost nobody warns retirees about. The 4% rule assumes an average return over your retirement, but returns don't arrive smoothly. They arrive in chunks, sometimes brutally negative early on. If the market drops 30% in your first 3 years of retirement, right when you're withdrawing 4% a year, your portfolio can be permanently damaged in a way it would have shrugged off later in life. This is called sequence of returns risk, and it's why some retirees who hit their number still end up running out of money. The defense is simple. Keep 2 to 3 years of expenses in cash or short-term bonds so you don't have to sell investments during a downturn to pay your bills. When markets recover, you refill the cash sleeve. When markets crash, you spend the cash and let the investments recover untouched. This single buffer can extend a retirement by 10 or more years compared to a portfolio with no cash cushion. Your retirement number isn't just how big the pile is. It's also how you draw from it when the market punches you in the face. Forget the $1 million number. Sit down today and answer 3 questions. 1. What do you actually want your retirement to cost per year? Be honest. $60,000? 80? 40? 2? Multiply that by 25. That's your real number. 3. Pull up your current retirement balances across every account you have. Old 401ks, IRAs, brokerage, everything. Add them. The gap between where you are and your real number is the amount compounding still has to do for you. The more time you give it, the less of that gap your monthly contributions have to fill themselves. Then set up the automatic contribution that closes the gap on schedule and stop thinking about it. Quick reminder, this is education, not personalized financial advice. For your exact numbers, talk to a fiduciary. So here's the whole thing in one breath. The "you need $1 million" advice is a relic. Your real number is 25 times whatever you actually plan to spend in retirement, adjusted for inflation and healthcare. Your coast number, the smaller target that lets time do the rest, is even more useful because it's reachable in your 40s. And the 3 levers, savings rate, retirement spending, and time, are the only knobs that actually move the number. Run your math. Find your number. Set the auto transfer. Then forget it. If this helped, subscribe. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.